What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Capybara Go video. Hopefully you're all having a fantastic day. We got a new event in the game, Underwater Adventure. These are pretty classic, but I actually have not really gone through a lot of the shops for a video for you all in terms of what my strategy is as someone who is really playing from more of a mid to early game perspective. As well, as you get deeper and deeper into the game, what you want to do with your resources definitely changes. So I wanted to give a quick run through of the event shop and figure out where we're headed in there. So first off, Underwater Adventure, guys, there isn't really a crazy amount of strategy with this, I will say. If you haven't played this event, basically the way this works is, you click through, get your little shells on the little bubbles here, and then as you move, you'll see these like blank spots. If there's one beneath it, then you will progress into the next stage. So as you can see here, if I were to click here, well, I now have to go ahead and click the next one, which is a brick, which requires 2 of the little jellyfish. If I click this one, then I'm going to go through and pass up until we see another spot with, more things to click and stopping us. If there's nothing in the way, then we will continue onwards, down and down and down. Going further is obviously really nice for the legendary keys and the wishing scrolls. Everyone loves legendary keys. The further you can go down, the better. These flashlights, they'll clear out everything in a row. What's really nice about these is putting them in a row that might you have passed. Like, for example, this one, let's say this was full of these gold shells, but I wanted to continue onwards. Putting a light right here might work out. And the bombs are really nice when you see kelp forests and clear out a big area. And also, if you see spots where there's bombs or the flashlights, and you can't necessarily get them by continuing onwards, using the flashlight or the bomb here to clear out some area and get the bomb or flashlight back can also be a nice little strategy. These are just kind of basic tips in general. These are hard to understand unless you've actually played through the Underwater Adventure, but to be honest, these are minor things to think about. As long as you're progressing as far as possible, the ultimate goal is reaching 450 and 900 really, because you can get those random hero boxes. It's going to be very unlikely for you to get any past that as a free-to-play player and not picking up additional jellyfish, which you can purchase. And as you can see, picking up 50 jellyfish is 5,000 gems, so 300 of these would turn into 30,000. It can get very expensive very quickly, and my advice right now is to not touch that, simply because we are getting close to a Ninja Turtle event, which is coming in about a month and a half, and you want to have as many gems as possible, at least 30 to 50,000 at minimum, to collect another adventurer that's going to be coming into the game. As for the actual exchanges, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting, because as you can see, there are the exchanges of the silver shells and then exchanges for the gold shells. The layout of this is less than ideal in my opinion. I wish there was a little bit of a shop, but you know what? That's okay. As per usual, we have awakening cores for various different artifacts. These tend to be very weak. I don't even worry about these, especially as an early to mid-game player, and especially as a free-to-play player. The boost that you're going to get from this is extremely minor. So do not even worry about either of these awakening boxes, nor should you be worrying about the limited collectibles. The bonuses you get from here are pretty weak. Susu, one of the weaker immortal pets, something that I would not worry about, really about burn and poison, and, well, it doesn't really do a whole lot for you comparatively to the other pets. Either it's not as survivable or doesn't increase your damage as much. So the immortal pet, Susu, kind of weak compared to Freya, Elsa, etc. And you're going to be running those instead. So I would definitely not pick that up. Then you have the brands. This one can actually be very strong. This is one of the few ways to get the Joker, few ways to get the Skeleton Spellblade. If you're using these, this is definitely a purchase worth considering. There's also the S-Rank Weapon Box and the S-Rank Gear Box and the S-Epic Legacy Box. So these, all 3 of these, including, actually all 4 of these, including the limited brands, are really the ones you want to focus on. The other gold shell purchases here that I would very much pick up is the Mythic Blessing and the random legendary gem chests are really nice. If you need a swap talisman, pick up a swap talisman. Blessing synergy scrolls are nice, but there's other ways to acquire them. I would really focus in on these 4 for progressing your build. Number 1 thing I think everyone should be picking up is the Night of the End, or if you happen to be using another hero here, then pick that up. These are a lot more difficult to acquire. You could also potentially pick up like Wild Vulture, that's a pretty common one, or the Wise Archdemon, or even the Stowed Guardian should be using them. This is something that is not nearly as common to acquire, especially in your early to mid game days. So definitely pick this up. It's the cheapest of these four, and it's going to give you a big boost. After that, I would definitely recommend the weapon selection box if you don't have a mythic weapon. Once you get a mythic weapon, this matters a lot less, and I would focus more on upgrading your heroes and brands usually, because the bonuses that you get from going like +1 to +2 to +3 to +4 don't matter nearly as much as actually unlocking that mythic effect. So I won't even worry about the weapon selection box. In fact, I wouldn't pick this up at all. I would focus on getting my other pieces of gear to mythic level. So, okay, if I have a mythic weapon, don't bother with weapon box. Get your S rank gear. And usually in this, it's Bloody Grail or Judgment Ring. Every single time, I could see an argument for the Revival Cape, or if you're using a different weapon, like that requires the Dragon Ball Ring, that could be nice, but Bloody Grail and Judgment Ring almost always. And then the limited brand selection box could be a consideration. So weapon box for sure, the S Epic Legacy box for sure, brand box, this is definitely an argument. If you do not have like a legendary Joker or a mythic Joker, you could definitely pick that up. Or same thing goes with a Skeleton Spellblade. The Lava Giant and the Mecha Titan are very, very much not something that people use as often, but these two are. And so when you're looking at this, do I have these effects? And if you don't, and if you have the surplus of books, you could consider bringing this up further and further. Getting these brands over to mythic level are very, very big bonuses, right? Getting global skill damage up 40% is incredible for the Joker to give you. So if you're able to have the spare books, but that's the key. Do you have spare books? Most of the time, no, we do not. And so that's where the S rank gear and the S rank weapon. For the rest of the purchases for these silver shells, this matters a lot less in terms of having to be specifically perfect. I would definitely pick up the Epic Legacy box. Choosing a hero is really nice. You can definitely get the Rogue or the Murloc or even the Pirate Swordsman. This is all very good depending on what build you're going. Even the Bone Club Golem could be interesting for certain builds. Then after that, what I personally like to pick up, definitely the books for this one. Books are extremely cheap in this event, as I found. Elite packs are always something you want to pick up. And then after all of that, you could consider picking up, I don't like the random ones just because the ones I'm looking for are 6.25% chance to actually acquire. So not something that I appeal to. So instead, I stick towards really the guaranteed value, which is going to come in the form of potentially horseshoes or the hammers, or you could even pick up something like the gem chest to get more gems to set you up for the future events. So in terms of the silver shells, definitely pick up the choose Epic Hero 100%. Definitely pick up the books. Definitely pick up the elite packs. Between the events here, you should be able to pick up all of those. And then if you have spare horseshoes, you can take your chances on some other, random heroes and brands, or you could pick up the gem chests for some value. That's kind of my process of elimination. But that's pretty much where I'm spending as a early to mid game player, and this applies to every single event, with the exception of really the books. So most events have an S rank gear and weapon selection box. Most of them have choose S Epic Legacy or choose some sort of hero / brand. Sometimes they'll have some really powerful mythic boxes depending on the situation, but prioritizing, especially with the lesser currency elite packs and the hero choosing, as well as the brand choosing if there is any, and then the books, those are usually priorities. Books, again, depending on the event, can be way more expensive and not worth it, or less expensive and worth it depending on the situation. So that's pretty much the rundown, guys, of maximizing your rewards as a mid to low spender, or even free to play player. Those are the things you're going to want to look for. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all for the next one.